Alrighty, guys, what's going on, everybody? Happy Friday, April 25th. Hope everyone is having a fantastic Friday night. Hope everyone is doing good. We're having ourselves a little bit of a later night live stream tonight. I figured Friday night, everybody's going to be up late, and so I decided I'm going to do it late here for tonight. But what's up, guys? Hope everyone's doing good. Good to have you guys here. Hope everyone's had a wonderful day. Let's see who we got here today. We have Crystal, we have Carson, Mark, Jenna. We have Galaxy, we have Railfan, Kayla, Kermit, Kim, Raka, Stormteller, and of course everybody else who is here but just not chatting. Hope everyone's doing good. So we do have ourselves a lot of severe weather ahead, even including today. We are having another enhanced risk here going on. So yet again, western Texas with the big hail and stuff. We do have a couple of warnings out right now for golf ball hail, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Here in the southwestern panhandle of Texas, out by Friona. Just want to go ahead and mention these real quickly. Out here by Bovina, I think it is, out there by Farwell. Yeah, definitely some big hail, golf ball hail, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Honestly, yeah, I mean, that's kind of the big stuff going on right now. We have a couple warnings here as well up here in the southeast. We have one out here by Atlanta. We have a little bit of a Boeing storm here. You can kind of see rolling through the Atlanta region. Now, we're not expecting severe weather today. This is a warning for quarter hail, 60-mile-an-hour wind gust towards Hampton, Georgia. Just want to mention this. And then lastly, we have a warning here in western South Carolina here by Salem for quarter hail and 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts as well. So, yeah, the big one's going on right now is up here in southwest Texas. So that leads us to today's risk, which we do have an enhanced risk here still out here across western Texas. So out there by the Lubbock area, just a bit of a heads up for you guys. You know, we definitely could see a lot of strong to severe thunderstorm activity out here. I mean, we already do have some storms kicking off here west of Lubbock here overall. And, you know, the environment is going to be capable of mostly a big hail concern here for today. So the only area that we're expecting severe weather to occur for tonight, once again, is across portions here of Texas, a little bit of southwest Oklahoma, eastern New Mexico. Now, taking a look here over at the tornado probability, we actually do have a little hatch risk here, a little 10% hatch risk here for tornadoes. Now, it's a pretty low area. I mean, the area in that 10% doesn't really cover a whole lot of people, a whole lot of area, I should say. You know, there is going to be the small chance that we could have, you know, perhaps a significant tornado or two across the areas here in the yellow. You know, given the environment, it is going to be possible. So we got to watch out for a little bit of tornadic activity actually being a concern. So just a little bit of a heads up out there. You know, once again, we're still watching that tornado risk here. There is actually a tornado watch in effect, I believe. Let's go ahead and see if we can bring that up for you guys real quickly. because I had the watches off here. So, yeah, you guys can see the tornado watch here in effect for these red shaded areas here, which does include a little bit of eastern New Mexico, a little bit of, western, kind of northwestern Texas here, and, a few counties further to the east here overall. What's up, Rail fan? Kayla says, hey, Andrew. Hey, everyone. Can you tell me about the severe risk for this area on Tuesday, please, and thank you. Yep, I got you. Let me go ahead and pull this up. Let me finish talking about day one real quickly, and then I'll look at that for you, okay? Anyway, so yeah, we have that tornado risk here. We do have a 15% wind threat today across mostly Texas here. Potential for some gusty winds within the storm, ranging 60 at worst case scenario upwards to 70 miles an hour, but mostly going to be sticking around possibly like 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts here. Now, lastly, we do have a pretty large, significant hail risk area here. So you can kind of see eastern New Mexico working its way over here into like northwestern Texas and western Texas here. We could have the potential for some large hail. Now, we do have a 30% chance over here. Out there kind of by the Lubbock area, 15% chance across the yellow area, and a 5% chance here across the brown. So I just want to go ahead and mention that for you guys, in terms of probability here for hail. So that's today's risk here. So like I mentioned, just be weather aware out there today for the rest of tonight, going into tomorrow morning up across western Texas and like eastern New Mexico. Also a little bit of southwestern Oklahoma too. So heads up to you guys tonight. All right, Kayla, I got you. So let's go ahead and hop over here to your area. You're up in Indiana. Okay, so let's talk about what's going on here. So for tomorrow, generally speaking, once again, Panhandle, western side of Texas, under the risk for severe weather. Kayla, you're good tomorrow. Looking at day 3, which this is going to be, on Sunday, right? So day 3, yes. So today's day 1, which is Friday, day 2, Saturday, day 3, Sunday. So Sunday, the Great Plains needs to be weather aware. I mean, we have a pretty big marginal level 1 severe weather risk out here, for a lot of the Great Plains here overall. And of course, we do have a little level 2 threat as of now, which, obviously could definitely be upgraded between now and, of course, Sunday here. But yeah, across Nebraska, it seems like the probability for severe weather is going to be a little bit greater, potentially more stronger storms out here as well. So just a little bit of an extra bit of attention for central portions here of Nebraska and south central South Dakota. But still for you, Kayla, you're looking pretty good here on Sunday. Now, Monday, we do have a really big day for Monday. As you guys can see, Storm Prediction Center's extended range outlook, we have a maximum 30% chance probability here for severe weather in the extended range here across these areas here. So these areas have got to be watching this very closely. This is a very big deal. A 30% risk is a pretty big risk for the extended range severe weather outlook. So a lot of extra attention needs to be watched, a lot of you guys in this area needs to pay extra attention to the weather here on Monday, which that happens to be areas out by eastern Kansas, out there by Missouri, mostly, like I said, the northern side in that 30%, but still, 15% still extends in throughout a lot of Missouri. Definitely Iowa, is mostly in that 30%, even like central southern Minnesota, central western Wisconsin, and western and northwestern Illinois is in that 30% chance out there for Monday. Now, Kayla, you are in, you're just outside of that risk here, and I know you probably know what you said Tuesday was going to be your risk, which you're right. But yeah, just once again, Monday, heads up to you guys out here across the orange here. That's, that's a 30% chance probability of severe weather, which that's already equivalent to an enhanced risk level 3 threat. And that's an extended range. There's a lot of confidence here. And then, of course, on the outside, we still have that big yellow area, that 15% chance, which, even then, that's still a decent risk for severe weather, even if you're in the yellow here. So, if you guys are in any shade of color here, which you guys can see, the yellow or orange, if you're in any of these shades, you need to be weather aware very, very closely and keeping an eye out there for the weather here on Monday. Now, Tuesday, okay, so this is where the cold front expands eastward, and therefore that severe weather threat will still continue at this point in time. Now, Kayla, yes, you are in that 15% risk out here for Tuesday. Now, that 15% risk goes all the way, as of now, from northern Texas, cutting through Oklahoma, going through Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, a little bit of northwestern Tennessee, West Virginia, southern Michigan, Ohio, central western Pennsylvania, a lot of New York State, and a little bit of Vermont here, in that 15% risk area there. So, Kayla, definitely need you to be weather aware. Now, I know in your comment you asked about the timing. Now, given the fact that this is still about 4 or 5 days out, timing is a little iffy right now. So, I can't really answer that right now because, between now and then, the timing is likely going to be changing quite a bit. So, whatever I could tell you or whatever I tell you tonight will likely not 100% line up. So we're just going to hold off on that for now, Kayla, but just know, yes, Tuesday you do have the 15%. Matter of fact, the entire state of Indiana is in that 15% risk for severe weather on Tuesday. Once again, the yellow regions here need to be weather aware. In this case, like I said, this is Tuesday's risk here. Hopping back to Monday, you can see that big yellow area and even that big orange region here with that 30% risk here overall. So that's about all I can tell you right now, Kayla. Definitely be weather aware out there. I mean, you are in the extended range risk here from the Storm Prediction Center. When I was looking at the models yesterday, which I'm going to check up on here in a moment, from what I was looking at, is it does look like we regenerate a lot of instability for Tuesday, which is going to give us that other potential for severe weather across the region there. So yeah, definitely need you to be weather aware. Okay. What's up, Kermit? What's up, Kim? What's up, Raka? Let's see here. What's up, Andy? Let's see here. What's up, MD? Saying hi, Andrew. How are you today? I'm doing pretty good. Hopefully you're doing good yourself. What's up, Scott? What's up, Section? Let's see here. All right, Carson said, hey, you told me to remind you when the stream started. Yes, I got you. Do I think that there's a good risk for Kansas City getting hit hard on Monday, specifically Liberty, about 15 miles northeast of the Kansas City metro area? Gotcha. So for Monday, yeah, we do definitely need, so you said out there by Kansas City, right? So Kansas City is in that 30% risk for severe weather on Monday. So, yeah, given that you're in that maximum risk in the extended range as of now, you really do need to be weather aware on Monday. Now, let's take a peek at the models here just to kind of see where we're standing here. We're going to take a look at the GFS real quickly. So let's go ahead and hop you guys over here to the models here. Also, if you guys want to check out this program, I can get you guys 20% off your first month. Pretty cool. Aguacero. It is a really, really neat program. Dude, it's honestly the best out there, in my opinion. It's such a good program. So let's go ahead and load up everything here. Actually, I'm going to overlay the instability real quickly. Let's go ahead and overlay the fuel in the atmosphere, and we're going to work our way down in time here. So, okay, so we approach our way into Monday. Now, you're wondering about the Kansas City area. You can really see here for kind of the later portion of Monday. You can see in the bottom right here. Kind of in the afternoon, you can see we really build in a lot of fuel, a lot of instability for these storms. Now, out there by the Kansas City area, if we grab a sounding just to kind of see what the atmosphere could look like. So given the view here, we do have a lot of instability, and, the instability goes way up into the atmosphere too. I mean, we're going to be talking, some pretty tall thunderstorms more than likely, given that equilibrium level is pretty daggone high, above 12 kilometers, that's given this environment. Of course, it's not 100% sure that this is what the environment's going to look like at this time for this area, but, it's an estimate. Once again, models, they're not perfect. But anyways, given that what the models are suggesting, in this case, the GFS, great moisture supply out here on the surface, we have upper 60 dew points, really going to be supplying a good amount of moisture on the surface, getting that warm, moisture-filled air up from the ground level up into the cooler, drier environment above. Now, you can kind of see we do have a little bit of a drier, layer here, essentially, in our lower mid-atmosphere. Honestly, given the fact we are growing in some instability on this layer here and everything like that, I do think hail is going to be kind of a concern in this sounding as well. So hail is something we need to look out for. I can already tell you that. Also, I mean, really all hazards I can kind of see here. Damaging winds, we have our decape, our downwards energy, the downdraft instability essentially. over 800, almost 900 joules per kilogram, which is definitely supportive of some strong downdrafts and some powerful downbursts. Given our, we do have some pretty strong mid-lower wind shear as well, could definitely support, some strong winds. So, damaging wind gusts, also in terms of large hail, seems to be a concern. We do have a little bit of a curvature, a little bit of veering winds in our lower atmosphere. You can look at the photograph. There's a little arch here, indicating that the winds are changing directions and increasing in wind speed with altitude. Those are our veering wind shear, or that's our veering winds, essentially. That's our, just basically telling us that the winds are changing direction and going faster as you go up in altitude. Now, that is a tornadic concern. Also, looking at the helicity values here, effective inflow layer, 124, could support some tornadoes. Honestly, based off helicity, kind of on the lower side. This wouldn't likely be anything significant tornado-wise, at least for this time, for this area. In this model, of course, here. Now, you can definitely see previous hours prior, before convection starts. I mean, you can see we do have a bit of a capping inversion here, which storms wouldn't happen in this environment. But, before those storms fire off here, the environment's definitely a lot more prone for tornadic activity. But the good news is, like I said, at that point, storms wouldn't be firing, really. Yeah, we start building in that capping inversion. You can see that warm layer starting to regenerate here for the early morning of Tuesday. And by then, the wind shear could get a little bit stronger. But you know what? Generally speaking, I think we're going to be in a relative. I mean, from what GFS is suggesting, a relatively low end, tornadic concern, according once again to this model, this this sounding, this area. Once again, this could be totally different the next run, or for different models. So just keep that in mind. But I do think tornadoes will be a concern. Yeah. So tornadoes, damaging winds and hail will certainly be a concern out here. So I do want to go ahead and mention that. So definitely be weather aware out there. Okay. All right, let's see here. Let me go ahead and hop on back here. Sorry, I'm a little bit behind on the chat. My bad, y'all. Let's see here. That's cool, Brad. Nice. What's up? Bella wants me to take a look at the zip code. I got you. Let's see what we got you in for here. Let's hop on back. All right, so you're up in Mississippi, my friend. I don't think you're going to be involved in much over the next little bit. So today we're good. General thunderstorm risk. Tomorrow we're good. General thunderstorm risk. Day 3 we're good for Sunday. We're good. General thunderstorm risk. Potential for some storms. Nothing big. Going into the extended range. Monday we're good. We're outside of that risk here. And Tuesday we are just to the south of the risk. So as of right now, you're not in any form of risk from the Storm Prediction Center. So no severe weather as of right now is expected out here, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, especially once we work way into early next week. We'll see if any expansions or anything like that is going to be needed. But for right now, you're not in the actual risk area, so you're pretty good as of right now. Let's see here. Renita coming in with a $5 donation. Thank you so much, Renita, saying, hey, Andrew, do I have to go in the basement tonight? I feel like I should move down there at this point. No, you're good, Renita. There is no severe weather concern. I mean, despite we do have severe thunderstorm warning here just to your northwest. It's a little ways away from you, though. So generally speaking, we're not expecting severe weather today. We are in a general thunderstorm risk, which basically is just the threat for some thunderstorms, but nothing severe. And we do have a nice little line, though, going through Georgia currently. Now, this is, for the most part, not severe. Except for this one little area here you can kind of see out by Griffin, Hampton. Even then, this is just for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter hail, which, yes, can be a concern, but as long as you're indoors away from windows, it should be fine. Renita, I wouldn't worry about it too much, to be honest with you, but if you hear thunder, I'd go indoors anyways and, stay away from windows, and you'll be fine. I can't even English. You'll get through it. It'll be all right. But yeah, nothing big tonight, though. Really anytime soon either for you. I mean, tomorrow, same thing, general thunderstorm risk here. We're on the edge of it here for Sunday, and nothing in the extended range for you. Renita, you're looking good. Yeah, nothing big. But yeah, we do have a little line here kind of rolling through. I don't even know if this is going to be still intact, considering we lost our diurnal heating at this point in time. Some of these storms just like to fall apart once you lose the sunlight, which, I mean, given HRRR here, it doesn't really show it hitting you. But remember, this is also one model and one model run here. Let's try the Ozulu here and see. It looks like it decays by the time it gets out there. Yeah, Renita, I wouldn't worry about it. I really wouldn't worry about it. Models kind of suggest it fading out here, which I can kind of see happening, because once the sun goes down, we start to cool the surface, and we develop a warm layer in our lower atmosphere, which kind of prevents convection from continuing. So I believe that that's going to kind of be good for you. I think you'll be fine. Okay, let's see here. Let me go back up and chat a little bit here, y'all. Carson says, is it more of a wind risk or hail risk? I think Monday is definitely going to be a kind of a main concern for damaging winds. Now, all hazards, I strongly believe, will be a concern. Yes, tornadoes, hail, damaging winds will all definitely be a concern. But I think it's mostly going to be a long, cold front, wind-driven, straight-line wind concern for the most part. But once again, given the environment from what I've looked at here, I mean, yeah, we definitely could support tornadoes and even large hail too. I mean, it's really going to be a triple threat. Is what I just have to tell you. Let's see. Tornadoes possible for Monday for Kansas City. So, generally speaking, the environment, yes, will be capable of tornadic activity within the region, given from what models are suggesting, yes. I wouldn't worry about it because, once again, I mean, this is still a couple days out. There could still be some changes, but, just keep an eye on it. Try not to worry about it, though, okay? No problem, Kayla. Storm Teller says, can I do Glen Flora, Wisconsin for Rusk County, Wisconsin? Our last tornado was in 2002. That's the year I was born. Labor Day tornado. Let's see here. So Glen Flora, Wisconsin here. Let me go ahead and bring this area up real quickly. That's Texas. Not familiar with this area, to be honest with you. Okay. Okay, so you're up kind of in the north central side. Honestly, here for Monday's risk, yeah, so you're on the edge of that 30%. You're in the 15% risk area here as of now. So within a 25-mile radius around you, there's a 15% chance probability for severe weather as of now. Let's take a peek at the models. Let's see what GFS suggests out here. So we work our way down in time. Okay, so we're going to work our way into late Monday. Let's grab a sounding and kind of see what this is suggesting here. So given we can break through this little warm layer here, and, convection can begin. I mean, we do have pretty good amounts of mid-upper level wind shear. I mean, it is pretty strong. I mean, to be honest with you, this sounding could support tornadoes, yes. I'm not trying to scare you or anything, but this could definitely produce tornadic activity in this area, according to this run, this time and, this area here. I mean, yeah, definitely given the fact that you're in that risk area from Storm Prediction Center, I mean, from what I've seen here as well, it certainly looks like that could be a concern. I want you to remember, though, and this applies for everybody, not everybody will see severe weather in the risk area, okay? Not everybody will see severe weather. I just want everybody to know that, okay? But with that being said, if you're in the risk area, just know that the environment will be capable of producing severe weather. And that applies for you, Storm Teller. Now, given that you are up in Wisconsin, and you are in that Storm Prediction Center's, extended range risk, and given what models are suggesting, like the GFS here, I think it's something to look out for. But just try not to worry about it, okay? There still is a lot of things that can change between now and then. I want you to know that too. But once again, also, not everybody will see severe weather here. Let's see here. Renita, come in with another 5. Thank you so much, saying thank you. Stay safe, everyone. Andrew's a blessing. He helped save my life. I'll always be grateful. Renita, thank you so much for that. I'm definitely glad that I can help out. Seriously, you definitely don't have to do all the support that you do. I appreciate it, Renita. Thank you so much once again. You guys in chat, please give Renita a big thank you. It's very, very sweet of you, my friend. Thank you so much. Okay. Oh, let's see here. What's up, Hoops? Hope you're doing good. What's up, Holly? Hope you're doing good as well. What's up, Barbara? What's up, Red Cyclonic? Let's see here. Hoop says, can I check on St. Louis for Tuesday? Yeah. Actually, you know what? Yeah, St. Louis is in that 15% risk area here. Let's go ahead and hop you guys back over here. So you can see St. Louis is in that risk area here. I mean, given the environment, yes, severe weather will be quite possible within the region here. Looking at models here, let's see here. Let's take a peek at what the GFS kind of is suggesting here over at the model. So let's take a peek at the environment here. Let's grab a sounding right towards St. Louis. Okay, so I see a little bit of curvature to a photograph, indicating that veering wind profile, which can produce tornadic activity if other conditions are met. Given a sounding like this, definitely we could get some tornadic activity in general. I mean, we have great moisture supply, mid 60 degree dew points, pretty good moisture supply. We really, for severe weather, you really want to get that warm, moisture-filled air at surface level up into the cooler, more drier environment above, up in the upper atmosphere. And there's great moisture available. So, that's 1 out of 3 really big things you need for severe weather, and also including tornadic activity, moisture, instability, and wind shear. Those are the main ones that we look at. So there is definitely a lot of moisture. Wind shear, to be honest, isn't anything spectacular. I mean, we do have decent lower mid-level shear. It's nothing excessive. It's nothing, super duper weak either. I mean, average, essentially. So we have wind shear, yes. We have moisture and instability, too. We have some pretty decent instability and potential for, tall top thunderstorms, too. I mean, our equilibrium level's pretty high up there, right there at the tropopods. Definitely we definitely need to be weather aware out here. I mean, yeah, given we do have that, curvature, that varying wind profile, great moisture, good instability. Yes, we do need to be weather aware out here, in which, I hate to say it, tornadoes could be possible. Yes, just given the environment here. Now, this is going to be kind of here for the afternoon here of Monday overall. So, and then you guys can see here, once we approach away into Tuesday, which you can see in the bottom right, the time and stuff. Once we approach away into Tuesday, you can see all of that instability builds into the Ohio Valley, which, like we mentioned, we have a pretty big risk here for Tuesday as well. Overall. So, once again, this is the main concern is going to be Monday going into Tuesday. Monday and Tuesday both. But hoops, yeah, definitely need you to be weather aware, okay? All right. Let's see here. Steady wants me to take a look at Hot Springs, Arkansas. Gotcha. Let's see here. Let's go and take a peek at this. Okay, so you, my friend, are in that 15% risk here for Tuesday. So, yeah, you are in that risk area out there for Tuesday. We do need to be weather aware out here. Given that you're in lower latitudes, wind shear, and given that that low is going to be more north of you, wind shear, in theory, would be weaker, which grabbing a sounding right now does also prove that point, that our lower mid-level wind shear is pretty weak. It's, nothing significant, nothing really that. I mean, given the sounding here, if we can bust through that lower layer here, we definitely could get some storm activity. Now, main concern in this environment would probably be damaging wind gusts and maybe hail. Tornadoes, we got really weak helicity, at least for this time here for late Tuesday. From what I'm seeing here, mostly a hail and wind concern as of now. But that can change. Remember, that's also one model, and everything. But yeah, SPC does have you in that 15% risk area. Okay, so be weather aware. All right, Braven, I got you. South Dakota, I don't think your area here could actually, you know what? I think you're right on the edge of it, if I'm not mistaken here. Let's check. So yep. So yeah, you are in that 15%, Braven. So that applies for Monday. So I need you to be weather aware on Monday. Now, taking a peek here, the models. Let's grab a little sounding out here by Sioux Falls. Okay. Got a little bit of curvature, a little bit of veering wind shear. Decent amounts of instability in the atmosphere. I mean, enough to get things going for sure. Yeah, definitely a pretty good amount of instability, though. bit of a drier, lower mid-level environment here. Honestly, yeah. I mean, this would be a damaging wind and a hail concern. Perhaps, I mean, maybe a weak isolated tornado could be possible too. I mean, just given a sounding like that. Remember, this is an idea of what the GFS model is throwing out there, of what things could look like. Observed soundings would be totally different. It could, that's saying if the environment looked like that, that's what could essentially happen. But yeah, I definitely need you to be weather aware though. All hazard potentially. I mean, that was kind of an all hazard sounding there. So okay. Let's see here. How does Lincoln, Nebraska look for Monday? So Lincoln's in that 15% risk area here for Monday. So yeah, you guys are in that 15%. So we do need you to be weather aware out here for Monday. Let's go ahead and grab a little sounding here from the GFS. See what we can get going on out here. Okay. So given the environment here, we have good amounts of moisture. I can already tell you that. Pretty dry, mid-lower atmosphere. Wind shear is fairly weak in the lower levels. If we, to be honest with you, given a sounding like this, not much of a tornado concern. To be quite fair here, this is not much of a tornado concern from what it looks like. Remember, things can change between now and then. I want you to know that. We do have really, really ridiculously strong mid-level wind shear, though. I mean, look at that. We're talking like, what is that, like 80, almost 90 knots of mid-level wind shear? Dude. Our lower-level winds are very weak, which is good for tornadoes being prevented, or at least very much marginalized. But yeah, a strong mid-level shear could lead to good storm organization. I mean, given an environment like this, hail, gusty winds could certainly be a concern, which we'll definitely look out there for. Okay, so yeah, what definitely needs you to be looking out there for the region here. I mean, SPC agrees. You are in that 15% risk area there, so we'll keep an eye on it. Okay. Let's see here. I just got a super chat, $1 Cash App donation here. I appreciate it from. Let's see here. I'm going to call you CAD, if that's okay. Saying, we have a severe tornado watch in Clarksville, Tennessee. No. Tennessee is not in any concern right now for tornadoes. So let me take a look at your area, my friend. So the only time where Tennessee needs to be watching out for severe weather is going to be here on Tuesday. And that's for the northwestern side. By the way, thank you for the $1. I appreciate it. You said you're out by Clarksville, right? Clarksville, Tennessee? Okay, let me take a peek here. Clarksville, Tennessee. Okay, I mean, you are in that 15% risk here for Tuesday. So given that, we need you to be weather aware on Tuesday, as, severe weather is certainly possible. Let me take a peek here at the models here. Let's see what the GFS kind of suggests out here real quickly. Let's see what we got going on. I mean, you can see here for Tuesday, we definitely do build in, a bit of instability out here. Let's grab a sounding, see what we got going on. Okay, wind shear is fairly weak, though. I'm going to tell you that. Our wind shear is fairly weak. Tornadic activity, not much of a big concern, from what I'm seeing here anyways. We do have maybe a little bit of veering wind shear, but it's very weak. Very, very weak lower level winds. So I don't think tornadoes would be the main concern. With that being said, I think we mostly need to look out there for gusty winds and hail. I think that's going to be the main concern for an environment like this. Okay, so yeah, not much of a tornado concern. Wind shear appears to be fairly weak here for Tuesday. Out there by you. Once again, thank you for the $1. I appreciate it, my friend. That's very, very sweet of you. Thank you. Let me see here real quickly. All right. So yeah, we'll definitely need you to be weather aware out there. Okay. All right. Let me see here. I am really, really far behind in the chat. I am so sorry, y'all. Trying to catch up here. All right, let's see. Rat says, can I check on Clovis? Where's that at? Is that New Mexico? So I don't think we have anything. Oh, by the way, we do have a tornado warning up in Texas here. Let's take a peek at that real quickly. Nothing for New Mexico really going on here, severe weather-wise, for Monday, Tuesday. Today, though, we do have a risk here. Yeah, so Clovis is in that enhanced risk, actually. So, yeah, today we do have that concern. Right now, though, looking at the radar out here, we do have a little bit of thunderstorm activity just to your north. This is not severe, though. That's in your area. To the northeast of you, though, for Texas, out there by Friona area, we do have 2-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, storm going on here. We do have a tornado warning here, radar indicated threats. This includes Walcott, Texas. For you right now, there's no immediate danger. There is no current warning for Clovis area. But, we are in an environment where severe weather will be possible. So I do need you to be weather aware tonight, okay? See, let's take a peek at velocity since we're already on it here. Let's see. Oh, yeah, definitely got a little bit of rotation out here, the southeast of Walcott. To be honest, I think this is mostly a rural environment here, if I'm not mistaken, including bootleg. Yeah, this is mostly a rural environment, at least. Yeah, we got a few buildings here and there. Really not anything super populated from what it looks like. But yeah, just a bit of a heads up out there for you guys. I did want to mention that real quickly. And also to that storm to the south here. Since we're on it, we do have a little storm here up in northwest, or area just slightly northwest of Lubbock for ping pong ball hail and 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Slightly south of Anton, Texas on the western side. Okay. Kermit says, how is Oklahoma City for Monday? Monday. Okay, let's hop over here to Monday's risk, which is day 4. Okay, so OKC does have a 15% risk here for severe weather coming up on Monday. So, yeah, we obviously need to be weather aware here. SPC does have a risk out for you. Now, taking a look at the models, like the not H-triple, we're not quite there yet. We'll get there day before the event. But GFS is where I was going with this here. So for Monday, definitely does look like we do break that capping inversion here for kind of the afternoon, evening of Monday. Let's grab a sounding here, see what the GFS suggests. Definitely is a pretty good amount of instability out there. That I can tell you, from what the GFS was showing. Let's see here. That's not one to grab a sounding. Let's try it again. There we go. Yeah, lower level wind shear in this environment here for the evening appears to be fairly weak, at least during the time where convection would be able to occur. It does look like the wind shear might increase, or veering winds might increase a bit for early morning on Tuesday. However, the good news is that at this point in time, there's a good potential we could have a capping inversion, which would kind of stunt, if not prevent, convection from occurring at this time. So, with that being said, during the hours of convection, damaging winds, hail, does seem to be kind of the main concern. Now, I'm not ruling out any tornadic activity. Once again, it's also something we shouldn't take this precisely, given that this is one model run. Still kind of in the extended range. So things are still evolving, essentially. Nothing super concerning tornadic-wise, at least from what no strong signatures of, super strong lower level wind shear and stuff like that. I'm not seeing that really. At least from what GFS suggests here. Once again, that can change, but main concern, gusty winds and hail seems to be the main concern. I'd say damaging winds probably that leading concern there. Okay. Let's see here. Can you tell me about Clarksville, Tennessee? Is looking for some reason we have a tornado watch. We don't have a tornado watching Tennessee. Now Tennessee is clear from the watches. We don't got any watch going on. Actually, Tennessee right now is perfectly fine. Let's take a look at the radar and stuff. Here, I can show you guys. Yeah, Tennessee's pretty clear right now. There's not really much going on here in the state. I mean, given today, we're not in that risk for severe weather overall. I mean, we do have a general thunderstorm risk, but nothing severe. No, you're not in a tornado watch out there. You're good. Tennessee is good. However, on Tuesday, though, for specifically really the northwestern side of the state, I would keep an eye out there for because a bit of severe weather does seem to be quite possible. Okay. What's up? Ronaldo's saying, hey, Andrew, hope all is well. Wondering about the outlook as well. As your personal opinion for the possible day 4 outlook coming up. Possible risk 30 to 40 miles west of Des Moines. Thanks for all. Yep, no problem. So you said for what day? What was that? Sorry. You said for day 4. Okay, so that would be Monday. Monday. So Des Moines, Iowa. All right, so Des Moines is in that 30% risk area here. So you're 30 to 40 miles west. So yeah, you are in that 30% risk for severe weather on Monday, which is definitely a really good risk for severe weather. Certainly need you to be weather aware out here. Now, from what the models are kind of suggesting here, which we'll take a peek at on the soundings and stuff here for Monday, you can see we really build in a lot of instability. Once we break that capping inversion, that warm layer in our lower atmosphere here in the afternoon, evening. Now, I'm assuming this is kind of where you're at, so we're going to grab a little sounding just in this general environment. Now, honestly, on this particular sounding, we have pretty straight photographs, mostly just, same directional wind shear, not really much veering happening, at least for this sounding here. With that being said, though, a really good amount of instability is present. Great surface moisture, mid-60 dew points, perfect. Really strong mid and even lower level shear. I mean, our wind shear is very strong in this environment. That's why we have such a great risk for severe weather for these areas, because we have a great amount of instability and wind shear, which are two of the main ingredients. Also moisture, I should add too. Moisture, wind shear, and instability are in great quantities, for this area here. And that's why we have a high probability, higher confidence, the environment's more potent for severe weather. So let me take a look at the environment here so you can kind of see, I mean, for now, at least the GFS suggests not too much of a tornadic environment here. Now, I'm not going to rule out tornadoes. I do think they will be possible for sure in the region here potentially, but kind of believing that damaging winds is going to be like the main concern. Possibly just a long line of storms, a big squall line rolling through. I think that's going to be kind of your main threat, but I wouldn't rule out all hazards, though. I do think that all hazards would certainly be a possibility. Okay, hopefully that helps, my friend. Okay. So sorry, you guys, by the way, for being caught behind in chat. Okay. Let's see here. Dynamax says, I heard some bad stuff coming for Monday. How does Rochester, Minnesota look for that day? Let's see here. Rochester, Minnesota. You guys are in that, so you guys are in that 30% risk out there for severe weather. SPC does have you in that 30% risk probability for severe weather on Monday. So Monday's the day you need to be weather aware, okay? So given the environment here, you're going to be near that low. That area of low pressure. So wind shear is likely going to be fairly strong, leading to potentially some good storm organization and whatnot going on. Taking a peek here back at our GFS model here, let's just grab a random sounding, just to kind of see what GFS is suggesting here. Yeah, great amounts of instability. I mean, given our high latitude here, I mean, we do have really good moisture as well. Great dew points here. I mean, mid-60 dews are going to really support some good moisture supply to these storms. So that's that. Great instability, really strong wind shear as I anticipated, given that we're near that low. I mean, yeah, organization for storms seems very likely to be quite well, So, I mean, yeah, everything's on the table here. Damaging winds, hail, once again, probably going to be the main concern up here. I mean, we'll have to see for tornadoes. I think tornadoes will also be kind of a concern too, but something's telling me that straight line winds is likely going to be the main issue out of this. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Okay, K-Dog says, hi, Andrew. Can you check southern Wisconsin for Monday and Tuesday? Yep, so it depends on where you're at for southern Wisconsin, specifically because, I mean, with southern Wisconsin, we do have a 30% chance on the central western side of the southern part of the state, and the eastern side towards Milwaukee's and at 15%. That's probability-based for seeing severe weather within a 25-mile radius of a given location. Now, with that being said, certainly severe weather is a concern for really the entire state of Wisconsin, given that everywhere in the state is included in at least a 15% risk. So we do need you to be weather aware. Now, according to GFS here, we're going to hop back over here to the models and stuff. Taking a peek at a sounding here for Monday, late Monday here, you can kind of see, according to the GFS, we do have some pretty decent photographs. You can see we do have some arching going on here. Helicity, effective inflow layer, storm relative helicity. We're almost 300, which that's pretty strong. Which does make sense. We do got that veering wind shear motion here in the lower atmosphere, good, strong wind shear all throughout the atmosphere. Tornadoes does seem to be a concern, at least in this sounding here for sure. Also, gusty winds and stuff like that too. I hate to say it though, but given this environment, tornadoes certainly does look quite possible. So keep an eye out there for that, okay? We'll definitely keep you in the loop, but just know, the SPC does have you in that risk area. We certainly do need you to be weather aware, okay? All right. Let's see here. Anything significant to note for Northwest Georgia next week, says Holly? No. As of now, no. Like we mentioned here for Tuesday, which hop back to SPC real quickly. So this is Monday's risk here. We have, the big day that we're going to really need to watch closely. Tuesday even, the extension of that cold front, the expansion eastward of that cold front here, we still do have, an environment where severe weather will be possible. As of right now, SPC does not have any risks for any part of Georgia. So we're good. As of now, we're not expecting any severe weather. We'll have to continue monitoring the progression of that cold front. More than likely, it'll be pretty decayed by the time it reaches down here, but we'll see. All right. Let's see here. Grace says, can I check on a zip code for Monday? Yes, I could. Got you. By the way, guys, if you could, leave a like, hit that subscribe button. Be greatly appreciated. And consider sharing this channel. Be much, much appreciated. Okay. So, this area out by Minneapolis, I believe you guys are actually in that 30%, if I'm not mistaken here. Yep, so yeah, you're in that 30% risk out there for severe weather for Monday. So that does mean that you need to be very, very weather aware on Monday. We were actually just grabbing soundings up here. And it kind of looks like that the main concern is going to be, damaging wind gusts, the potential for strong winds within the storm. Can't rule out tornadic activity. If you look at the sounding here, we do have some curvature on our photographs indicating some veering wind shear. We definitely need you to be weather aware regardless overall. All hazards does seem to be quite possible. Hail, gusty winds, and, perhaps some tornadic activity. So please be weather aware, okay? So definitely keep an eye out there for Monday. Okay. What's up, Matthew? Hope you're doing good. Are power outages possible for the risk in Wisconsin? Should I get my dad's hotspot password ready for Monday? Yeah, given the magnitude of the storms and how potentially we could see some, definitely some strong and severe thunderstorms. Power outages will, almost certainly occur across some of those regions there. Remember, not everybody will be affected by severe weather, though. Not everybody will. So remember that, okay? But, yeah, it wouldn't hurt. All right, let's see here. Freebird says, thanks for all your help, Andrew. You rock. Yep, no problem. You guys are very welcome. Like I said, I care about you guys. I want you guys to be weather aware, okay? So we got you. Okay. How bad will the severe weather be for Southeast Michigan on Monday, Tuesday? Okay. So Southeast Michigan's good for Monday. Tuesday, Southeast Michigan does have that 15% risk out there for severe weather. So let me take a peek at the models, the GFS here. Let's kind of see what the GFS kind of suggests. So, yeah, you can definitely see as we approach our way into the afternoon, evening of Tuesday, you guys can see the timing in the bottom right here. Definitely, we do have a pretty good amount of instability out here. Let me grab a sounding. Okay. So, yeah, good amounts of instability still, as we mentioned. So there is definitely a good amount of fuel for storms to occur. We do actually have some pretty strong wind shear, which could lead to really good storm organization and stuff. So that will be good for storms. I mean, most of the winds are linear, meaning they're flowing in the same direction from ground to upper level atmosphere, which is good, because if those were aggressively changing in the lower atmosphere, that would be more of a tornadic concern. Now, we'll have to see about tornadoes. Because there is still a little bit of helicity, a little bit of a curvature on our photograph here, which can't rule out tornadoes, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It's still a little early to be precise, but definitely do need you to be keeping an eye out there for severe weather here on Tuesday afternoon. Okay. Let's see here. Andrew, back at it again. You know it. You know it. Okay. Let's see here. Actually, almost caught up with the chat here. Can I do 48118 says Tang? Yep, I got you. Let me pull this up real quickly for you. Okay, so you up in Michigan. Actually, yeah, we literally just looked here. So, yeah, what I just said, yeah, we need to be weather aware out here. Definitely need to keep an eye on it. We'll see about tornadic activity and stuff. We'll definitely keep an eye on it. David says, do I think that day 5 could expand to include northeast Texas? So for Tuesday's a risk here. Let's see what GFS suggests here. You can kind of see here for late Tuesday. We definitely could have some instability. There definitely is some fuel out there. Let me grab a sounding. Let's see what northeast Texas looks like. Our wind shear is fairly weak. That's going to really limit storm potential. I wouldn't be surprised if the lower risks, like a marginal, would be added for some of those regions there. Yes, thunderstorm activity is going to be certainly possible. We have the instability for it. We have the moisture for it, but the wind shear is severely lacking, which is going to really drive down storm potential. We'll see, but it wouldn't likely be anything super significant. Okay, so we'll see though. All right, Silent, I got you, my friend. Let's take a quick peek at your zip code here. You are up in Louisiana. Okay, so Louisiana is actually currently not in any form of risk here for the next couple of days. So, Silent, as of right now, you're pretty good, okay? Okay, Ty, I got you. Let's see what you want. You're up here in Michigan. Gotcha. Okay, look at this. So, given SPC outlook here for Tuesday, you are right on the top. Right on the edge of that 15% risk here. Now for Monday, yeah, you're just outside of it, man. Wow. Okay. So, given that you're in the vicinity here of that 15%, certainly would be a good idea to be weather aware here for Tuesday, as severe weather does seem to be quite possible. Now, let me take a peek here at the models with you. See what we got going on, because I definitely do know you can see here for the afternoon of Tuesday. You can look in the bottom right here. We do have a pretty good amount of fuel for storms. A pretty good amount of instability and whatnot. Let's grab a sounding out here. Yeah, once again, good instability. I mean, we do even have a little bit of veering wind shear, a little bit of curvature to our photographs. Can't rule out maybe some weak tornadic activity in an environment like this. Great moisture, mid 60 dews, a little bit of a dry mid-lower atmosphere. Could support some hail, actually, given that we do have decent wind shear. I mean, pretty good amounts of instability building in, dry air, really good for that evaporative cooling and stuff to occur. I mean, really is going to allow for a bit of a hail concern, I do believe, as well. And then lastly, I mean, given, D-Cape potential for strong downbursts, given our decent lower level wind shear, I mean, yeah, all hazards could be quite possible. So, I mean, given that you're right on the edge of that 15% risk area, still, we need you to keep an eye on it, okay? Okay. Let's see, MD, I got you. I think you're in that 15% risk here, too. Yeah. So for Tuesday, MD, you are in that 15% severe weather risk area here. So we do need you to be weather aware. Looking at the models back over here, let's grab a sounding out here by you. Let's see what we got going on here, what the environment kind of looks like. It's good to look at this here. Let's reload that. Sometimes it doesn't take for some reason. Here we go. Okay, so we got some curvature, we got some veering winds. Tornadic activity could be definitely possible. Great instability, really strong wind shear in the environment, great moisture supply. I mean, yeah, moisture's there, instability and wind shear's there. Certainly do see a concern for, especially damaging winds and perhaps some tornadic activity. So we'll have to see what happens, okay? We'll definitely keep you up to date, okay? Holly says, thank you. Yep, no problem. Tank says, what's the timeline for storms? It's a little early to tell in the extended range outlook here. I mean, given we're 4 or 5 days out, it still is a little far to look at timing. I don't really like to look at timing until at very least 2 days before the event, but mostly the day before is when I like to look at the timing, because of how inaccurate it can be. I mean, yeah. Closer you are to the storms, the better accuracy you have with timing. And, we're still, once again, 4 or 5 days out, so a lot can change between now and then. So it's not really useful for what I tell you at this point. Okay, let's see here. Ashley says, what about Springfield, Missouri? Gotcha. So Springfield's actually in that risk here, yeah, for Tuesday. So yeah, you're in that 15% risk area. So looking at our GFS model over here again, so you can see we definitely do build in some instability here. It looks like Monday is going to be fairly capped out, which is, there is instability here for Monday, but you can see once this loads here, which actually I already think it loaded. Hold on, let me try that again here. I'm not sure if that was... There we go. Yeah, so you can see there's a bit of a warm layer here. It doesn't look like that really breaks, so convection would likely not occur. But for Tuesday, which we're going way past Tuesday at this point, Tuesday, yeah, it does open up. The environment does open up a bit, where we certainly could see some storms in the area. Let's see here. I mean, we do have, good amounts of moisture. Our lower level winds are fairly weak. I don't think much of tornadic concern. We'll see, though. I mean, I wouldn't rule out tornadoes, but I'm not seeing nothing significant here, at least from what I'm looking at now. In the morning, the wind shear looks a lot better than the evening, but storms aren't really going to fire off probably until kind of afternoon. You can see evening. We start to cool down on our surface here. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, definitely bottom line is we do need you to be weather aware and watching this. I mean, yeah, SPC does have you in the risk for a reason. I can see why, for sure. Gusty winds, probably going to be your leading concern. Mark, I'm sure it does. Tank says, I get anxiety sometimes, extreme anxiety when there's severe thunderstorms. What should I do? So one thing I really would recommend to everybody who has storm anxiety is learn how to read radar. Not just your precipitation radar, not just reflectivity. Learn how to read reflectivity, velocity, and correlation coefficient, because enabling those three things can really inform you of what's going on in the storms. So, velocity is good for looking at straight line winds, good for looking at rotation. Correlation coefficient could be really good for determining hail cores, and worst case scenario, debris signatures. Things that aren't things that are foreign to the environment in the atmosphere that radar can see. That is one thing I would highly recommend. So learn how to read radar. It's not as hard as you think. You just got to study it a little bit. Just got to, look at it, and there's all kinds of videos out there. So learn how to read radar is one of them I would highly recommend. If it makes you feel better, even if you're not in a warning or not, you could still go to your safe spot. That way you feel a little bit more safe. Turn on some tunes, listen to some music during it. Just make sure you have a way that you can hear alerts or anything like that come through. But, just bring stuff that could, to your safe spot that can, help ease your nerves. If you want to play some games or something down there, do it. Once again, just make sure you know that, or make sure you have a way to receive warnings and stuff is just really what I highly recommend, okay? Hopefully that helps. No problem, MD. John says, Chicago, Illinois, I know we're in a 15%, but it seems to be uncertainty according to NW Chicago. Here, let's see here. So, yeah, you can see here for Tuesday's risk. We do have a little bit of that 15% risk here. Yep, so Monday's going to be probably the main day. Okay. Here, let's see what GFS shows. So, GFS, you can kind of see here for, yeah, definitely a little bit too late for Monday. I can see that for sure. So here for kind of afternoon Tuesday, mostly linear wind shear. Winds are mostly flowing in the same direction as you gain altitude. Winds are increasing, though. Yeah, I could see that. Still do need you to be weather aware, though. The models do support soundings that, could definitely support severe weather. Yeah, we do need you to be weather aware here. Remember, things can change quickly, too, between now and then. So there is a lot of things that can still change a bit. Okay. No problem, Ashley. Let's see here. Tang says, I read radar, but it's like when I don't look at radar. When I'm at somewhere, I get anxiety because those times I don't have the radar. There's a lot of good mobile apps you can get, like Radar Scope or Radar Omega, if you want to. Those are decent apps that you can use to, look at radar if it'll help you. All right. Charlotte wants me to look at the zip code. Yep, I got you. Let's see here. So you, my friend, you're up in Arkansas. Okay, so your threat's going to be on Tuesday. So, yeah, once again, Monday, Tuesday are the big days. So your day's going to be on Tuesday, though, for severe weather. So, Charlotte, your threat's here on Tuesday. SPC does have you in a 15% risk area for severe weather. So that is that. Yeah, so given that, we definitely do need to be weather aware on Tuesday. Looking over at the models, like the GFS here. Let's see here. Okay, so let's grab a little sounding out here. Yeah, good moisture supply, good instability. Our winds in our lower atmosphere is fairly weak, which is good. Mid-level flow is still kind of weak. Our wind shear is not really the strongest, given the fact that we're, further away from that area of low pressure, which, the further you are away, the weaker the wind shear is. Further away you are from that area of low pressure, the lower the wind shear is typically. So that's good. But yeah, we still do have that instability and stuff. Also, SPC does have you in that risk. So we will definitely need to be weather aware out there once again Tuesday. It's going to be your concern. Not Monday, Tuesday. I got you, Tang. Yeah, there's not really much I could tell you if you're at school, because, that's that's that. But your school will let you know if there is a big problem. So it'll be all right. You'll get through it, my friend, I promise. Had a warning today for cold air, for cold funnels. Where are you at? Texas? I'm assuming, because that's where we had a lot of severe weather today. But anyways, folks, well, we're going to be rolling off here soon. It's getting a little late here. We approached our hour update here. But, yeah, like I mentioned, guys, you know, we're here to help. If you guys could, leave a like, hit that subscribe button. It'd be greatly appreciated. And most importantly, if you guys could share this with your friends and your family members, it would be greatly appreciated. That way we can help keep everybody weather aware. So I appreciate y'all. See Indiana. Oh, really? Interesting. Yeah, I don't think Indiana was at any risk today. No. Yeah, we did have that general thunderstorm risk out there. When did they add a little marginal here? Look at that. Has this been here? Look at that little itty bitty marginal risk that we have here for southern Ohio, northeast Kentucky. I don't know why it took me a minute to say that. I used to live in Kentucky, in West Virginia. What is that even for? Hold on, I'm just curious. I did not see that. That's got to be new. A little 2% tornado risk here. That is, wow. A little 5% wind risk here, no hail. So, well, there you go. There you have it, folks. Huh. It was just issued. Oh, I got you. They did cancel the tornado watch. We still do have a severe thunderstorm watch, though. This tornado warning here still for mostly rural areas here. This includes Westway. But all right, everybody. Well, thank you all so much for joining. I appreciate everybody. Once again, a big thank you goes to Renita. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it, my friend. Which definitely does help us out a ton. Also, Cad, thank you so much for the support here on Cash App as well. Thank you guys for the support. And, of course, thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Thank you all for hanging out with us. And, once again, if you guys could, leave a like, hit that subscribe button. It'd be greatly appreciated. But we'll be here tomorrow. I'm going to do some type of update tomorrow for you guys. We'll keep you guys weather aware and everything like that. So I hope to see you guys tomorrow. But all right, everybody, thank you all so much for joining. We're going to head off here in approximately 1 minute. So go ahead and say goodbye to your friends, your family, anybody you're hanging out with in the chat, my friends. You all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your night. And we will see you guys here tomorrow. All right, everybody, thanks for joining. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, my friends. See ya later on.